Welcome back, College Football Edition, Top 10. We're going to move to the defensive side of the ball. I chose linebackers. I feel like there's a lot of great linebackers coming back in the SEC this year. Interested to see your take because Auburn actually lost all three of their top linebackers. If there's any Auburn players in the top 10, usually...
I don't have any in there.
First time ever.
I'll tell you that.
This is the first time ever. But I didn't realize this. All three of those guys are on NFL rosters.
Oh, yeah. No, they all got picked up.
That's crazy.
But one of them was drafted, right?
One of them was drafted, but the other three... But like, imagine your three linebackers, like, you all go to the NFL. I mean...
Auburn's defense is always... Well, okay, let me tell you. Not always. But that's what we've been known for the past few years, to keep us in all the games. That's the reason we haven't had losing seasons, is them, not our offense.
Yes.
So, any of our defenders should have been picked up, I feel like.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the top 10 list. I'll go first as usual. We may differ, similar. I think we got a little bit different this week. I'm going to go first. Arion Carter for Tennessee. He was a freshman last year. I think he was either second or third in tackles for them. I think Tennessee is not going to be good this year. This is maybe the first Tennessee person I've had on any of our lists, besides Heupel as the coach. I think they're going to be on defense a lot. And I think this kid's going to lead them in tackles. That's why I have him on the list.
Okay.
Number 9, Miles Graham for Florida. The Florida legacy, Ernest Graham's son, 5-star, had a good year last year as a freshman. I think he has a breakout year this year for Florida.
Great year as a freshman.
Great year as a freshman.
That's why I'm surprised you have him at 9, but there you go.
Because there's a lot of good linebackers that are veterans above him. I got him at 9. The other thing is Pup Howard, the transfer from South Carolina. He's back again another year for Florida. I wanted to mention him. I probably would have had him at 11 or 12, but he's more veteran than Graham is. So one of those two guys are going to have a really good year, or maybe both of them. But I like Graham and his upside as a sophomore. Next, Raylan Wilson from Georgia. I just think that Georgia always has good linebackers. Kirby always does a great job. He's not the only guy. I think C.J. Allen, who's higher in my list, will probably be the better. But they usually have one or two guys. Both of them go to the NFL. I think Wilson's going to be that second tier to C.J. Allen, who's my number 4. 7, Whit Weeks for LSU. Had a great year last year. I think he could be higher on this list. I think you may actually have him higher.
I do.
I just think, like I said, I think to me, I have Harold Perkins having that breakout year that he had his freshman year. Didn't have as good a sophomore year as everybody thought from the All-American freshman year he had, freshman All-American. I think Perkins comes back, gets into NFL form. So I have Weeks at 7. I'm going to call him
Suntarine.
Yeah, Suntarine Perkins, Sonny Perkins for Ole Miss. I think he has a monster year. I think Ole Miss is almost in the same boat as Tennessee. I think they're going to be a lot on defense. Obviously, they try to score quick, both teams. I think he has a good year. Taurine York for A&M. He's a great player. I think A&M, they're going to have a good year from him if they're going to be able to compete with the teams in the SEC and the great quarterbacks that they're going to play this year.
For sure.
Talked about C.J. Allen. He's my number 4. I think he's going to be the dog for Georgia this year that really gets them going. 3, Deontay Lawson from Alabama. I'm expecting an All-American type year from him. I think that he's got to step up and take that lead and be the guy. He was pretty much the guy last year. Behind, Campbell was obviously that got drafted was there too. Harold Perkins I have at number 2. I told you I think it's going to be back to his breakout year. And then Anthony Hill Jr. I think is the number 1 linebacker in the country. He's going to have a monster year for Texas. I think he is the alpha on that team. I think we both agree he's number 1 and the best player in the SEC and probably the number 1 linebacker drafted in the NFL.
There's no doubt on him. As long as he stays healthy all year, he'll be number 1 on everybody's list. All right, let's go back. I'll start my number 10. I got Suntarine Perkins from Ole Miss. I think that with the way their offense is going to be playing this year, probably not as high-powered, they're going to have a lot more defensive stands, but I don't think it's going to be geared towards him.
Okay.
I think they're going to have a lot more passing stuff going on that they have to worry about defending. So I think he's going to be lower on my list than he was in yours, but he's still going to be top 10. He's good. Leona LaFou from Texas.
Okay, I didn't have it.
Very good. I think he should be higher on my list, but because of Anthony Hill, I feel like you can't have them both in the top 5.
Okay, gotcha.
So I have him in the top 10 still for that reason. Miles Graham at number 8. Well, you had him at 9. I even had to keep from putting him at like 6 or 7.
Okay.
I think just because of Florida's defense being, are they younger? I think they're going to have to do a lot more growing, and later in the season, they're going to have a lot more lower scoring games and playing a lot better. he's definitely going to be in the top 10, if not top 5.
I mean, he's a 5-star, and he got to play as a freshman. Those guys usually have big sophomore years.
And I'm not going to lie, I learned way more about him playing with him on NCAA.
Okay.
He's very good. Okay. Torrin York, Texas A&M, I agree with you. They're going to need him to step up and play. One you left off, Brad Spence.
I saw that you had him on the list, yes.
From Arkansas, didn't play last year because of injuries, but when he did, he led the entire SEC. So, I mean, I feel like that's...
I mean, if that you have 3 of their linebackers on your list, I mean, they may... We haven't got to our favorites win the national championship.
I had to keep them off the top 5. You see, I kept him right at 6.
Yes, but again, you have 3 of their linebackers in there. You have Arch as your number 1 or number 2 quarterback.
They better win.
I mean, they may be your favorite to win the national title. We'll get to that point at some point later in the summer, but
pretty sure I'll have that.
Texas has got to be a talented team. I mean, they've had guys on every list too. Like,
granted, that's how Alabama was for years, and this is exactly what Texas is showing. Hey, put us in the SEC, and we can do the.
I think Texas going to the SEC is the best move that school could have ever made.
I agree completely. That they needed to get out of Big 12.
Big 12, yeah.
12. They needed to get out. It wasn't benefiting them.
And A&M got to benefit that for a while before with Manziel, and then before Texas got in.
Missouri,
I think they saw that and was like, and that's probably why A&M didn't want them no part in the SEC.
Texas said, "Oh, y'all are able to keep up. We can dominate."
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So yeah, Brad Spence. I think him playing for Texas now is going to be a game changer. Their defense is going to be another level, like Brett said. Number 5, Harold Perkins. I have him lower on my list just because I swapped 2 of the players.
Okay.
I'll get to that one in a reason.
Okay.
But same reasons I like him that you did. Number 4, Deontay Lawson. I brought him lower just because of the other LSU guy.
Okay.
Lawson, incredible linebacker. I do think this is going to be his year for Bama, and he's going to run that entire defense.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know. I don't know what to expect from them this year, so I kind of left him a little lower.
That makes sense.
Number 3, Whit Weeks. I think he is going to be the best one for LSU.
Yeah.
I think they're both going to be studs.
Who does he remind you of? I mean, I kind of almost get like Luke Kuechly type vibes.
Okay.
That would be who I
would say.
Just always around the ball, not the fastest, not as athletic as Perkins is, but still like just always knows around the ball.
Somehow just reads the defense, and I would say. I would say more like an Urlacher.
Okay.
Because Urlacher was really slow but a big hitter, and I think that's more I would say. Number 2, C.J. Allen. I have him high on my list because he's just a beast. Okay. If it wasn't for Anthony Hill, he'd definitely be number 1. But like you said, with Georgia, they always have great linebackers. Mm-hmm. So I think he's going to prove why they always have great linebackers and be at the top.
Well, and he's played 1,000 snaps in 2 years.
That's ridiculous.
He's going to know Kirby's defense better than anybody. I think it's a good pick. Like I said, I had him at 4, so 2 and 4. That's pretty consistent. So.
And I was wrong. I had switched those. My bad. The Whit Weeks led the SEC in all stops. That's why he was on my list. The Brad Spence had when he was healthy an 83.3 run defense. He led the defense. He led the SEC in tackle defense, not in.
God, so they're gonna have that's gonna be a really good.
Unreal. Yeah. But yeah, that's my top 10. Pretty close to yours, I feel like.
Very close. And Hill at the top.
Yeah, Hill's on top of the hill. King of the hill.
I like that. I will say what's so weird is now that I'm seeing this and I'm looking at like matchups of like who Texas is going to play. Do you know that Georgia never played at A&M?
Throughout the entire time they've been in the SEC? I did not know
think
that.
Florida's been there 3 times. And they were just going over matchups. Auburn and Florida played every year for like 30 years. They have only played like twice.
Since.
Yeah. South Carolina has never played at Alabama since they've had this big, or maybe since like 1985. It's like, how have they done and had all these matchups for a while, since 2000-something, and these certain teams have never gone and played, yet some of them have played like A&M and Florida.
Fear? Is it the fear of what happens if we lose to that team our first matchup?
Yeah,
I don't know. That's a weird...
I mean, I want to send you that link because it was so crazy to me because there were so many things you're like, wait, they've never played this person? Or like, Auburn's never been to, play... Tennessee has not played a game in Mississippi in like 20 years. And Ole Miss and Tennessee used to play every year. Like, it was just ridiculous of just all the things that just the matchups and how some of them have happened, or some that used to happen all the time and that just don't happen anymore. And you brought up, the reason why I brought it up, because you brought it up last week about a chance that Alabama and Auburn might not play each other.
Yeah.
I need to find that. I think it was an Instagram post about the teams that don't play each other or haven't played in a while. It was like, my gosh, like how did they mess this up? And the SEC guy said this needs to be fixed because how bad it was. So
Was it this?
I don't know if it was that, but yeah, I'll find it.
Okay.
But yeah, it was pretty interesting. So, but yeah, there's our top 10 linebackers. Won't have anything next week.
Yeah, we'll be off next week. Come back in 2 weeks.
Maybe do DBs. Maybe get.
Is that where we're at now?
I think DBs. Yeah, I think DBs next 2 weeks. So, all right.
Follow it up with some kickers.
Yeah, head-to-head picks next. Interested on your World Series picks. You did go.
You don't want my
We'll get to it next week on head-to-head. Titan Tigers.